بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته, and welcome to Takaful online course. And today we carry on our discussions on the resolutions of the Sharia Advisory Council of Bank Negara, Malaysia, and we are now in these sessions we are in the resolution 43. And the resolutions 43 basically talk about the Retakaful business model on Wakaf, on Wakalah and Wakaf. So the resolution talk about combinations or a business model whereby you combine a Wakalah and Wakaf. Let's understand the features, then we go to the resolution. So basically the proposed structures is the Retakaful business model will be based on a Wakalah model with the element of Wakaf. So again, it's a combinations of Wakalah and Wakaf. And among the special features as follows, meaning the business model will work according to the following features. Number one, the Retakaful company is an agent to manage the Takaful contributions based on the term of the agreements that's been outlined, the rights and the duties of the Retakaful company and the Takaful company as basically a Takaful participant. So here again, keep in mind that we are talking about the Retakaful, we are not talking about the Takaful. Again, the Takaful, the participant, corporations or individuals, but the Retakaful, the participants are the Takaful operators themselves. So it is a one level higher than the normal business operation of the Takaful. So this is the feature number one. The Retakaful, there is elements in this model on the Wakalah. And it is highlighted in the terms and the conditions that govern the relationship between, again, the Retakaful and the Takaful, and the Takaful will be acting as a contributor. The feature number two is talking that the Retakaful company established Takaful funds by contributing a sum of capital by way of Wakaf. So this Retakaful company will inject a sum of fund, specific amount. It could be 100,000, it could be 500,000, it could be 1 million. So it depends, a specific amount to be injected. And this money will be regarded, or this amount will be regarded as Wakaf. And as a result of that, the Wakaf fund will be established by the Retakaful by injecting this amount. Once the fund is established, so the Retakaful company will no longer have any right over the funds, meaning that it will be based on a trust, and it go out from its ownership, so it doesn't belong anymore to the Retakaful. However, the Takaful company has the right to manage the fund, so it will be acting as a mutawalli, meaning the persons who basically manage the Wakf funds. And this is one of the rights that Sharia basically provided and allowed, that the person who established the Wakf has the right also to appoint himself as a mutawalli to run that specific Wakf, or to appoint a third party to do it. So in this business model, so the Retakaful will inject specific amount to be regarded as Wakf, so it will go out of its ownership. It doesn't belong to it anymore, and it will have the same rules and principle of Wakaf, but at the same time, this Retakaful company has the right to manage this fund. The following feature saying is that the initial contributions is perpetual in nature, as you know, because it is Wakaf, and it can be neither be terminated nor transferred. So it has the feature of Wakaf, such as, you know, perpetual, and also cannot be sold, cannot be transferred, cannot be donated. So it has this kind of features. The contributions made by the Takaful participant will be channeled to the Takaful funds. Then people, when they I mean the Takaful operators, because this is a Retakaful. So the Takaful inject or donate their money. It goes to this specific funds under the management of the Retakaful company. Now, the aim of the Takaful funds is to pay any claims or losses suffered by the participants, giving a benefit to eligible participants in accordance with the terms of Wakaf. So basically, again, the donations will be given to the funds, and again, the term that the condition will govern the terms of paying the claims in the case of accidents, injury, and for circumstances, and so on and so forth, as per the Takaful model. And giving donations to charitable organizations as approved by the Sharia committee. Now, the following feature says is that any surplus in the Takaful fund will be distributed among the Takaful operators. In case, they are paying donations, again, to the funds, paying claims, any surplus will be donated and distributed back to the Takaful operators, of course, within the terms and conditions agreed upon, which is somehow similar to the terms and the conditions of the Takaful business. Now, this is has been referred to the SAC, and based on that, the issue has been discussed whether the proposal could be allowed or otherwise. Now, the SAC in its 87 meetings, 23rd June in 2009, has resolved that the Retakaful business model on Wakalah model with the elements of Wakaf according to the features as stated above, according to the feature that we have just mentioned, is permissible. So, which means that the proposed structure has highlighted with the relevant features has been approved by the SAC or Bank Negara as an approved and permissible model. And in the resolution, as you can see, they mentioned that the business model is a Wakalah with the element of Wakaf, as we have highlighted, meaning that the Wakaf comes in by the Retakaful, then the business model will be based and built upon that kind of criteria. Then the resolution says that, however, such Takaful operations model structures based on Wakalah and Waqf will not depart from the requirements of contributions based on Tabarra by the participants. So which means that despite that you structure the funds initially based on Waqf, that just to initiate and establish the business model, but it doesn't prevent that later on the contributions coming from the Takaful operators are coming on the basis of Tabarra, meaning that you don't discount the donations, you don't disqualify the contributions based on Tabarra, you don't terminate the contributions of the Takaful operator on the basis of Tabarra, which means that the elements of Wakalah is there because the Retakaful has been appointed to manage the Waqf funds and the contributions, and of course paying the claims and the distribution and so on and so forth. And number two, the elements of Waqf is there because of the establishment of the funds based on the Waqf, and the element of Tabarra is there also because of the contributions of the Takaful operators to the funds. So meaning that in overall, if you want to go into details, we have a three aspects: the Waqf, the Wakalah, and the Tabarra. Then the resolution says that thus the effect of such model is viewed to be similar to the existing model based on Tabarra. So they mentioned that the overall structures of the model is similar to the existing one. The only difference is that at the initial stage in building the business model, the Waqf elements is there. Whereas in the normal business Takaful operators, so there is no Waqf, it is a Wakalah and Tabarru, but with this structure and proposed structure, which is permissible, so we have the additional element of the Waqf, and this is basically the Waqf model, which is a practice in Pakistan and practice as well in South Africa. Then the resolutions carry on by saying that in addition, the SAC has also resolved that the contributions of Tabarru by the Takaful participants in Takaful or Retakaful agreements based on Wakalah with the elements of Wakaf is owned and managed by the Waqf funds, but does not be part of the Takaful asset. So the Retakaful still manage the funds, but the contributions, the donations given to the funds will not be part of the Waqf. So it will be a Tabarru fund, which is based on donation, meaning that the initial capital is, I mean, you may say the first account that has been initiated by the Retakaful is based on Waqaf. Then the second account, which is the contribution of the participant, will be based on Tabarru, and it will be regarded as a donation, which means that what has been given will not be converted and be part of the Waqf. Of course, here, from a Sharia standpoint, the donation could be Waqf as well, but here the main point is it depends on the intentions of the contributor. If you have intention that your contributions given is Waqf, it will be part of the Waqf. And if the intentions that the contributions given is Tabarru, it will be out of the Waqf. So it will not be converted as part of the Waqf. This is based on the intention, but definitely when you design the applications, when you design the term and the conditions, when you design the accounts, so definitely it should be disclosed and should be mentioned in the TNC, in the applications, in the policy, that the contributions of the participant, which is in this case the Takaful operator, because we are talking about the Retakaful, so it will be regarded as Tabarru. As a result of that, it will not be part of the Takaful, part of the Waqf fund. Then we have what? We have the Waqf funds. Then we have the donation fund, which is the contributions of the participant, whereby from that fund it will be paid the claims, and if there is any surplus, it will be distributed to the what's so-called participant, which means that the first funds that has been established by the Retakaful, it is very restricted, governed by the rules of Waqaf. But the second account, which is the contribution of the Takaful operator, which is based on Tabarru, it has a flexibility similar to the normal Takaful fund on the basis of Tabarru, whereby the Takaful operators will manage that kind of funds by paying the claims, giving the surplus and so on and so forth, because it is not governed by the Waqf. Now, some of the basis of this ruling, briefly on that, among the justifications given again, that the elements of proposed models is the applications of elements of Waqaf. So it is based on the Waqf, and it has no issue from Sharia standpoint because Waqf is allowed. However, in the end, the funds will receive and own the contributions of Tabarru from the Takaful operators, again, in addition to the elements of Tabarru as we have highlighted. These Tabarru contributions do not form part of the Waqf capital. As we mentioned, it will be segregations between the funds which is based on Waqf and the funds based on Tabarru on donations, meaning that you will be having two types of funds under the Retakaful managements. And the donations cannot be part of the Waqf capital. And rather than the contributions are managed by the Waqf entity to the payments of the Takaful claim, as we have highlighted. The other justifications is mentioned that scholars of the Hanafi, Maliki, and Hanbali schools allowed any kind of contributions or gift to Waqf entities, either in the form of buildings or perpetual plant without changing the status of the contributions of gift as a Waqf, meaning the majority of scholars basically allow the permissibility of donation of donations and hiba and gifts to a Waqf entity without conversions of these amounts and donations. Could be in a form of cash, it could be in a form of kind, it could be in a form of commodities to the benefits of the Waqf entity without auto conversions to the Waqf, but it will remain as a gift or it will remain as a donations. So there is a segregation, and the bottom line here, as we have highlighted also before, is the element of the intentions of the donor, which is very crucial, that will determine the nature of the donation, which is basically the following point that has been highlighted, whereby the mentions in the following justifications is that they express intentions and objective of the contributor or the contributions and their agreement with the Waqf entity are the main factors in determining the status of the participant, particular contributions or gift to the Waqf entity. That's very important. We have already highlighted, meaning what's the status of donations, of your intention in giving. If you give with the intention that this money is Waqf, so it will be parked under the Waqf account. If you give it with the intentions of donation, it will be under the donation. But again, practically, when you operate the business model, definitely the Retakaful would administer the applications and put the terms and condition in such way that the donations will be in a form of tabarru, in order to avoid the what's so called the donations and the contribution of the Takaful operator being converted into the Waqf fund. Otherwise, it would be very difficult for the Retakaful to manage the funds when it comes to the administrations of the claim and the surplus and so on and so forth. Either as a part of the Waqf asset or not. So again, the intention will determine that. And in this case, the gift contributions made by the Takaful participant is a type of tabarru and not Waqf. So meaning that the nature of the contributions by the Takaful operators to the funds will be based on tabarru, despite that the initial business model was built upon Waqf. And here the Retakaful has to properly disclose in its administrations, in its business model, in its account, and so on and so forth, the segregations between the Waqf and the contributions, and make sure that the contributions by the Takaful operators are based on the tabarru, and as a result of that, they will manage to fund. Based on these features, no harm to have a business model based on Waqaf, whereby elements of Wakalah, elements of Waqaf, elements of tabarru will be all combined in the business model, and they will be applied in a very proper way according to the Sharia requirement. And this shows again the flexibility of Sharia to accommodate a different business model for the interests of the industry. With that, thank you very much, and see you inshallah in the coming resolutions. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.